300 bands, ET in the trap with killers.
Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to this segment called Stool Talk. It's part of Barely Buzz, but we don't have the whole cast here, so we're doing something a little bit different this time. You know me already, but I'm gonna introduce my boy to the right.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bobby from Chicago. Thank you for having me here. I look forward to getting into some deep topics and giving my opinions or whatever. You can learn if you want to learn more about me. I'm on Instagram at DJ Jilla on Instagram. So get to know more about me on that right there.
Appreciate it, brother. Hey, Deontay Carlton Banks, 1600 838. All right, pretty simple. To the right of me,
Ryan. First time on the podcast. I don't have anything to promote. If you want to get into contact with me, you got to get my phone number. Because I don't have an Instagram or any social media, nothing like that. So,
All right, let's get down to it though. I know you raised in Southside Chicago. You know, how was that for you, like growing up as a child? Like, what was the background scene?
Well, Chicago has always been always been known as a rough city, and growing up for me was, it was compared to other, like me being around for my career, meeting other people where they from, really urban, city life. Like I say, man, I spent time in the country and I hated it, so because I love the city life, you know, walking outside, seeing crackheads run up and down the street. So, you know, traffic. So that's the type of stuff that I like and I'm used to. You know, I feel uncomfortable being in the country. But growing up, man, it was very interesting. You know, my mom was a single mother. You know, I got two little sisters I grew up with, and me being the only male in the house around three other females, I think that's why I became a really emotional person, and because I had to grow up in that house with those women. So growing up in Chicago was a good learning experience. I think it made me the man that I am today, and I continue to think back and go back to those learning experiences growing up as a kid and try to utilize those tools as an adult. And I think I will continue to do that as old as I get.
Of course, yeah. Definitely.
That's what's up, man. As far as relation, like I said, we interviewing you, man. But I think you hit on something strong when you said being raised by women. So much about a man, they expect you to be harder than hard about everything. But you gotta realize when you raise multiple women, you take on that emotion. Right. Now, you may block it, you may hide it, or however you choose to deal with it, but it's there regardless. So that's all. That's what I take from it, man.
Yeah.
And you didn't grow up with any brothers, right? You just all sisters, right?
Ironically, look, I don't have a single brother. My mom has three girls. My dad has two.
No cousins? No nothing?
I have two male cousins, but as far as a brother, biological brothers, I have none. I'm the only.
I'm with you.
I'm the only.
5 sisters.
5 sisters, man. Believe it or not.
Hey.
So
ain't had nobody to beat up, man.
Five sisters.
Nails? They were painting?
Nah, I ain't painting no nails, man. I probably tried on some high heels or something before.
Yeah, you on your empire shit, man, Bobby. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
And Ryan, for you, what was it like for you growing up?
yeah, so I grew up in North Carolina, right? Henderson. It's a pretty small town, pretty rural for the most part. The part I grew up wasn't like a city. A lot of crime though. So high crime area, low income area. I mean,
what part of it?
Henderson.
Henderson.
So I mean, the median income there is probably like 25,000 probably. And I mean, what kept me out the streets was I grew up with a single mother. You know what I mean? My dad wasn't like estranged, nothing like that. He stayed like down the street. So it wasn't like I didn't know what that motherfucker was. He stayed like down there, like I saw him with the other family down the road.
That's
But
tough. That's tough.
but just
He was
Me-
more
I'm-
like a neighbor, not a father.
yeah,
or
it was like a neighbor sort of. I mean, I still see him in Walmart. You know what I'm saying? I just I call him by his first name.
Gave you
I
the
don't really-
head nod.
Yeah, but what was it? Yeah, so it's just me. I'm the oldest of three. I got a younger brother, younger sister, and I mean, what kept us out of the street? We just played sports a lot. We just played sports all day. We got put in every sport, even if you was like whatever sport was the cheapest to play. You know what I mean? Like basketball, football. You don't need a whole lot to play them sports or whatever.
Yeah.
Track,
Trifecta right there. That's it.
So that's pretty much what we did. We just played sports all day. So it was like wake up, go to school, go to practice, come back home, practice some more in the backyard or something like that. That's what kept us out the street though. But I mean, we stayed in the projects a lot. I get house broken into a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? Stole my PlayStation 1. Yeah, it's different from his. We didn't grow up in the city. It was like even the country is still like high crime area.
Yeah.
No, it's not like a farm. We grew up on a farm. You know what I'm saying? But it's still like it's not a city really.
Yeah, you got a car, you got somewhere to run, you can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Being a single parent, I mean, your mom being a single mother with sports, that had to be difficult. Because it was difficult for me with my mom because she didn't really care about me playing sports. So I remember like going through that and I was like, damn, because my pops was in jail at the time. So especially when I was in high school. So I mean, I played football. True story. This what made me think about this. My mom convinced my mom to come to a scrimmage football game that I had, right? She come to the stands with some random nigga sitting in the stands with her, right? And he was obviously flirting with my mama the whole time. She out there, hey son, I see you. And I look over there and I do something good on the field or whatever, make a tackle. And I'm looking to my mom and she just over there hugged up with some dude and he feeling all on the ass and shit. And I was embarrassed. So I'm sitting on the football field and I go to the sideline and my boy like, hey man, ain't your mama up there? I'm like, shut up, man. Looking at my mom out there. My mama was bogus, bro. She was embarrassing, man. So, but she didn't really care for it. I think, you know what I mean? So it hurt me because I dropped out of football because I couldn't come up with like $50 for a physical. You know, we was going through a state playoffs, and for us to travel downstate, we had to have an updated physical. And my mom could give me $50, bro, to get a physical, and I couldn't go with the team, man. So that right there, I regret that stuff, man. That stuff hurt me because I really thought I was gonna go to the NFL, man. And I dropped out at that moment. I dropped.
What position, coach?
I played running back and linebacker, man.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
really good. They moved me from freshman team to varsity for homecoming game, and I almost scored a touchdown, bro. My second play of the game, bro. Real talk. You don't believe me? Google Robeson High School football team in Chicago. Number 22, dog.
I got it.
They don't have that in our
It
archives.
was a little similar.
That's what's up, man.
We didn't have to pay for our physicals. Like I said, it was like everybody in the town broke. So we had the free physicals by the health department. So literally they come out of high school, they hire like 4 or 5 nurses, they'd take up a classroom, and it was like you just go in and get your physical. Sometimes it might be one of your boys' mama doing the physical.
Yeah.
Because there ain't a lot of people in the city. If they was a nurse, then they was doing everybody's physical. But I mean, I don't think my mom was that interested in it, especially not football, because you know what I'm saying, that's like far away, everybody got passed, so you can't tell who's who.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She probably knew who the number I was half the time. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of worked out a little bit because she had 2 jobs, and it was almost kind of like a babysitting service. So I mean, she wanted to play, we wanted to play, but it also gave her more time to like do shit. Because we leave in the morning, go to school, we didn't come back till night with sports and stuff. Especially on a Friday, you got a game. She'll drop us off at school in the morning, and away game, you might have come home till like 11 o'clock.
Friday night lights, man.
Yeah, you might come to 11 o'clock.
And
Get the
so
whole
I think
day.
that's something about the North and the South, or Midwest and being down South. Because from down Virginia on down, football is so important in our lives.
Yeah.
Like for y'all up north, it's kind of like, okay, y'all can play basketball.
Yeah.
It's more like basketball toward cater to you guys. That's how I feel.
Like when summer football start, I ain't see my mama that much except for like
It's crazy.
night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like nighttime, you come home and do homework and stuff, but that's only a few hours before you got to go to sleep. You got to wake up for school the next day, and I'll go to school in the morning, 7 in the morning, whatever time it was, and then practice is at 3:30. Yeah, I don't get home from like 7 to like 7. I'll be gone for like August to like January. Pretty much.
This Navy life is easy for you then.
I mean,
Go right into this.
So what we got next, man?
Yeah, I wanted to break the ice, man. We gotta open up the champagne because it's a very special day.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So, let me,
What day is it?
it's my day.
Oh, all
It's
right.
his birthday,
Let's make
man.
okay.
Oh, today your birthday?
Show some
Yeah.
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
We didn't even get a cake.
Hey.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we got order him a cake,
Oh
man.
my God.
We got
Order
Taylor
me.
cake last time.
We good.
Huh? Only put my eye out. That shit just pop off.
You got a knife?
Oh, wait a
No,
minute.
hell no.
You gonna
Like,
pop that,
Pull it out.
cork that thing like that?
There we go.
It's you, bro.
Y'all want some?
It's all foam right there. Pour that.
Now you're
All
it's
wrong.
champagne.
Boy, just for that. Hold that at an angle, fast. See what you get out of that.
Champagne.
Oh, champagne good. We don't even have no champagne. This is the closest you got to champagne. And I stole this.
That'll do.
Oh, yeah.
I walked right out the club with this one. For real.
Which one?
The one. The one. Yeah.
I'm good. I
I
wait.
was still partying and walked
I
out.
gotta take a drink with you. Man. You want some?
Yeah, it's cold.
I bartend it.
Watch that cold right there. I'm burning it.
That's good.
Thank you, that sunshine. Appreciate that, brother. Black and white America. I mean, this is probably the most crucial time, you know, seeing as we go from a African American president to a, you know, different type of another typical white president. I don't know if you can say typical, Mr. Trump, man, but yeah, I don't know if there's anything typical about him. But yeah, I mean, it's a crucial time, man. The last 8 to 12 years has been it's been an eye opener for this generation, I believe. You know, for everybody that's living through these times and able to see what's going on and live through what's going on right now. First, in the same way, probably felt back then when Kennedy was president, or and they went through those times. So, my opinion on just what's going on with Black and White America, all of the shootings of unarmed African Americans from police officers, and all of these things that's going on. I find it disgusting personally. I find myself sometimes getting stuck watching these YouTube videos on
Like
Facebook. Yeah, man, I'm just scrolling through it. And I don't know, it's addictive to see. I mean, I'm addicted to watching it, but at the same time, I hate to see it because it messes with my emotion, because I just picture myself in that situation, man.
Right.
And a lot of these guys.
You ever picture yourself in that? Like, you ever had a scenario in like real life?
Yeah, be like a scenario being like
Pulled over or something like that. Profile. You ever been profiled?
Right now I can't. Only thing I can think of is when I say that is that I have my friend I wear right here, Deontay Owsley. He was murdered on the streets of Chicago. He was my best friend in high school, and he was my best friend Deontay. He was murdered on the streets of Chicago, and what I remember is I just had my daughter, man, Ayana, and she was still like a baby, bro. She had to be 1 or 2 years old, and I had her in a car seat in the back, and I went to pick up D, and I don't know where I picked him up from at his house, and Deontay he was the known gangbang, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was in the streets for real, but this was my boy, you get what I'm saying? And so we went to I went to pick him up, and we get pulled over by the police. And D I'm talking about before the police even come to the car, he's already lashing out, man. I got my daughter in the car, he in the passenger seat, like, the James Brown said, fuck you pull me over for? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you ain't even driving. Like, you cussing out the police officer in there. But the way he was talking to the police at that time, and I think back to that, I was like, bro, like, that's not who I am. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's who he is, because he was the streets. So obviously he had a lot more experience being harassed by police officers than I did. So, but him doing that, I just was like, man, I could never I was already scared. Every time the police pulled me over, I was already scared because I'm like, I never know what's gonna happen, man. So, but being profiled, that's probably the only thing I can think of. You know, they pulled us over because 2 black men in the car, an old school car at that. You know, first thing they see is think about is drugs or whatever like that, man.
Yeah.
So
I think I had quite a few situations for real. The one that hit me the most was just going to school, really going to high school. Like DC wasn't always gentrified, you know, Chocolate City, that's what they used to call it. But for a long time, you ain't really see too many white people in our neighborhoods. Police stayed on Capitol, around the Capitol monuments and all that. That's where they patrolled at. That's where they kept. They enforced us at, and they would send us whatever rookies, the black rookies. So, you know, going to school, we had these coats, spider coats. You know, I don't think everybody got Helly Hansen, North Face. You had these spider coats, came out in all the colors. You know, you can make it real unique too. You get like the little zipper shit, turn it into a vest. It was cool. Everybody had one. So we'd walk to school. And the thing in DC was it's an unwritten rule. Any more than 6 is a gang. Any more than 6 people walking at a time, black people, is a gang. So initially they try to break you up or they just stop you. It was almost similar to the stop and frisk in New York. Right. They just stop you, but it's harassment. Simple way to put it. So they stop us. Where y'all going? We late to school about 8:40. Supposed to be there 8:45. But obviously we going to school. Cool. You know, we late. They ain't gonna take us to school. They holding us up at this point. We just getting all the questions, harassing us, which I got, this and that, the third. 6 people, you probably got half the group never really dealt with something like this, but my half, we had run-ins with the law before. Just us being kids, having fun with it. But it get to a point where you get tired of it. And long story short, they jacked us up, and he had put like his knee in my back, and me being nervous, all this type of shit, man, I pissed on myself. Like, I'm trying to get up, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna fight a grown man today in high school, until I pissed on myself. So it fucked me up in a way, because I was more so, it was so much anger built up prior to, and then when that happened, I felt like I ain't do enough based on all the anger that I had building up. So
I mean, you can't do anything with that, because if you do,
who knows what would have, and that's why I'm getting to, who knows what would have happened if I chose to react the way I had planned to retaliate or something.
It's just gonna pop up.
You just had them situations, but you know, I wound up going home changing my pants. They was my good jeans. I used to wear them about twice a week.
did you change your drawers too?
Them jeans I couldn't even fit. Hey, we was in the skinnies, bro. I probably couldn't even fit no drawers in between. They was cheap.
Changing my pants down. What about the drawers?
I ain't had no.
A lot of my run-ins with the cops, like, I didn't have a lot growing up, but my run-ins probably came in like after like I was like 25, like, you know what I mean. So I was like, even last duty station when I was at home, whatever. I'm in my room, in my apartment, typing a paper, right? I got 2 dogs, like small, and I got a big ass dog. I'm typing, they both sleep, you know what I'm saying, chewing their bones, chilling. So you knock on the door at my house, my dogs go crazy. I don't know, I've been trying to stop that shit, but if you knock on the door, they just freak out, right? Yeah. So that's why I like get somebody to call me before you come over, because I'm not trying to calm down 2 dogs.
What you feeding them on?
I mean, regular, they just like the door, like knock on the door, and the doorbell triggers them. Yeah. Like, not aggressive, they just
they get excited.
They bark. So I'm typing on my computer, writing paper, right? I'm in school, writing paper a couple years ago, and open the door. The dogs, my common dogs, open the door. It's like a police officer. He's like, "Yeah, we got a call to some live music," and I was like, "I don't even play no music." I was like, I don't like got no speakers or nothing. I don't play music. You know what I mean? So we hit it from. He's like, "Oh, we heard there was some loud music." And I was like, well, I'm not playing the music. He was like, well, if you are, just keep it down. And I was like, I told you I ain't playing the music. Like, I was like, why you come up here?
Speakers.
You know, I literally don't have speakers. You know what I mean? I don't play music. I don't be playing music. Like, you can never come to my apartment and music gonna be blasting. Like, it's just me sitting there most of the time. And I'm like, I told you I wasn't playing the music. He's like, oh, just keep it down if you are. I was like, whatever. So my assumption was somebody probably heard some like rap or some hip hop or something like that, and they probably just pointed him to the closest black person's apartment. You know what I mean? And it was mine.
That black guy upstairs,
Yeah, like I remember like black dude in the building. There's probably him, Lil Wayne, go up there, and I'm like, it's quiet as hell in my apartment. I'm like, no, I'm not doing nothing. I'm like, man, we don't. This is what we paying you for. Dude, like, well, you proud of yourself? You came and shut down some fake music. And one time in San Diego, you remember Horton Plaza in San Diego? It didn't have a roof on it. Down at the mall downtown, if y'all been saying Horton Plaza, it's a mall,
Outdoor
but
mall.
it's outdoor. It's enclosed, but it's no ceiling on it. So whatever the weather is, that's pretty much what the weather's gonna be inside. So if it was like chilly San Diego day, I'm going through the mall in my hoodie, right? I got a hood on and everything because it's like probably lightly drizzling. And it's a couple stores. So I'm like going down the steps or whatever. And there's a dude, like a white man in front of me in a suit with a briefcase. And he's like in front of me, like running, looking back like this, right? And I'm like, what the fuck wrong with this dude? I didn't think of it at the time. But he was like looking back, running with a briefcase. He jumps from like the 6th step, almost breaks his leg, and takes off running to the parking deck. Right? So I'm thinking like, whatever, motherfucker's crazy. So I go home and I was like, wait, man, that dude's running for me. I was like,
You trying to get behind you?
Boy,
I'm like,
they thought you sent
he
him.
was running for me.
They sent you for him.
If you go to Horton Plaza, it's like a mall, but it's no ceiling to the shit.
Yeah.
So if it rained that day, it's raining in the mall. So I got my hoodie on, and I'm just going. It's like 3 stores. I'm just flying down the steps, right, minding my business. Steps. And the dude is like terrified. I'm like, what's wrong with this dude?
You flying, he flying.
Yeah, I'm right behind him. So he jumps, like, ain't gonna give out, take out. I'm like, and I when I got home that day, I was like chilling. I was like, man, that dude.
You know what's funny? If you started running too.
Yeah, we both. I was right behind him going down the steps. And I was like, that
He's running, I'm
motherfucker.
running too.
He had something in that briefcase.
Dude, I'm just going down the steps. We both just having me going down the steps. He just ran from him.
I think
Black dude in the hoodie chasing him in the mall. I'm like, almost broke his wrist his life to get away. Wrist his whole
was in
leg.
that suitcase, man.
this shit like that.
He had
That's
his right. He ain't
Caught
have
some drugs.
his re-up for the plug, man.
There's no the suitcase probably full of drugs, and they come ask me questions.
it's crazy shit like that though. You can't even wear a hoodie, or you can't wear all black, or you can't wear this because it make you look a certain type of aggressive. Can't have dreads, make you look a certain way. Perception. Oh, I just don't get it sometimes.
Just listening to y'all stories make me feel some type of way. Because having 3 black boys at home, man.
It's tough, and I ain't like I said, it get even deeper when you touching just being a parent, raising a black man. Like this, what you set up against, you know.
And I know it's hard for y'all, and I think it's different being a black female. I feel like I got things against me too, but I feel like it's more against y'all, and just like trying to support them, trying to support my husband, even trying to support my ex-husband. It's just like I know it's hard.
So how is it like raising a black son in America?
You a parent, by the way, bro?
No.
How was that for you and for you, Tay, and for you as well? And
My son is mixed, man. Malachi, my youngest boy, and his mother's white, and he's because of my career, he's been spending way more time with his mother. So she has her side of the family who he's around, and then my ratchet side of the family, in a sense. So
That's a good blend.
it's a huge gap, bro. It's a huge gap. And my son, when you look at him, he looks like a little white boy. You know what I'm saying? Like he looks like he has the blonde curly. He took out after his mother a lot. Blonde, little curly hair, blue eyes, but he has the facial features of an African American. My son, I've missed time being around him. So he's 7 years old right now. So me being around him when he was 5 and 4, he hasn't developed the mentality or the awareness, I think, for me to talk to him about like racial differences or whatever, what's black and white. So him being older now, I think he's starting to know a little bit, so learn more. So I'm looking forward to having these conversations with him and teaching him more about his father's side of the family, or his African American side, more or less than all he knows is that his white side of the family. And just to be real honest, like I think he's taking after more of her side of the family because I'm not around. He's not around. He's not around my mother and my sisters and his cousins and things of that nature. His African American side of the family. So he's talking a certain way and he's doing certain things that's more, I guess, it's more to their side than mine. Now, I do feel, I kind of feel a certain way about that, but I want him to, not saying that I want him to be like, more black or more white. I don't think that's the issue. It's more or less, I want him to at least tap in to know that when he comes, what's going on, and say, okay, yeah. But he hasn't, I took him around the family before. He's been around my grandmother family, everything. He's a kid, man. He has fun. He's not thinking about black and white and things of that nature. But he had a few incidents going through school where his mom has told me, his mom, he said, she was in the grocery store. She said, Malachi comes to me and says, Mommy, look at those black kids over there. You get what I'm saying? And to me, that broke my heart. But he's, like I said, at the time he's 5 years old. So him saying things like that, I'm like, wait, you're black. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. You're gonna be, when you go through your life, you're gonna be acknowledged as a black boy, a black man, even though you mixed. You get what I'm saying? So, he's too young to really know about that right now, but for me, that hurts my heart. I can't wait to get back around him and start reeling him in on some, teaching him on some more cultural things on this other side that he should learn about and know about as he get older.
All right. So I think like he hit most of what I said on the head. I mean, most of what I was thinking, at least. Bear with me if I reiterate anything or if I get too caught up in the situation. But so my whole situation with my son, I don't know if you saw what I posted on Facebook a little while ago. I was so scared, and I still am. I'm so scared, and I don't fear much, but I'm so scared for my son to not be prepared for the stuff that I'm prepared for. So, like, for so long, you just prepared. You basically prepared for war, like war for that type of shit. And when I saw that he had any type of different characteristics from me, I would lash out because I felt like it made him vulnerable.
How old is he?
5.
5. Oh yeah, still a baby, man.
Hey, but look, like when I just wanted to tap into like what I planned for him and how he was coming along, it would conflict with that, and it was like, you know what? I tell myself, let him grow. He his own man. He gonna be his own man. He ain't got to be a lick of me. But it'd be days where I would forget that I told myself that I'm safe. Man, if he don't know that these motherfuckers don't like him, if he don't know like how he supposed to project himself to these people, I'm not asking him to be ultra aggressive to him, and I'm not asking him to be mean to him. But I'm asking them to stand as, you know what I'm saying? Just stand. Yeah. Stand for, like, be prepared for how they maneuver. Because it's ways they go about certain stuff. And it could be something simple as when they take your order or something at a restaurant. And it's stuff that, like, you will notice. But if you feel like he don't notice it or if he don't react a certain way, he lost to him. Or he made himself vulnerable to him. And I don't never want him to feel like he not on the same playing field as them. When I say them,
pick your head up situation.
Yeah. And even that, I don't ever want him to feel any less confident than them because of his situation where he came from. Benz, though he ain't come from where I come from, I felt like I had to install that in him artificially. He not gonna go back to DC and live where I was living. He'll never be there, So it was like, how can I emulate exactly who I am and prepare him to be more street smart, a lot more of these characteristics that won't necessarily hinder him, but at least he'll know how to operate in these situations where, okay, I went to meet a friend that probably was from somewhere I wasn't from, and we got treated different because we was here, and they thought I was from here. What that's about? Now I got to explain to you, and it's just a lot of. I get real emotional when I think of it because I'm one of the many fathers that I'm sure feel like they behind the curve on a lot of things.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I feel like with being in the military in general, I know when I get around the boys, and I know even like when we were in Italy, I feel like whenever we were going back to the States, I say, Tristan and Tyler, okay, this is what's going to happen. We about to go to Augusta, Georgia. And I need y'all to reel it in. Because we're going to be around some white people who might don't like it. I need y'all, whenever we left from Augusta and they went to damn Maryland with their dad, I was like, okay, y'all about to go to Maryland. And this is what I need y'all to do. Because there might be some people that don't like y'all. And I don't even want to think about it if they get shot. Because then I'm going to have to shoot somebody. I'm really have to. I really feel like.
But I don't mean to cut you off. It's sad that you got to think of stuff like that for your children. You have to really be prepared to, okay, look, this is what's going to happen. Like this. And it's stuff that I ain't necessarily had these conversations with my 5-year-old, but I think like he could be in a situation where somebody really don't like black people that much that he is a threat to them. A threat, and it's sick. It's sick.
That's what happened with the lady who supposedly the little boy touched her butt or something,
and they try to charge him for sexual harassment.
Like, I'm calling the police, and she called the police on a damn kid. And the little boy was in the middle of the street crying. I'm like, that's some low shit. Like
it hurt. I tell you.
So I mean, with the boys, they're almost 14 and 11. So my boys is a bit different. But whenever I think about it, it just like hurt my heart, and I want to make sure they know, because I don't want them to be out there and then something do happen. Oh, but you never told them. Oh yeah, I didn't never tell them how they should react. And I'm just a woman, so I try to tell my ex-husband, which he's from DC, Southeast DC. So I feel like he should know.
That's my side.
I'm like, okay, I need you to do this for your boys.
See, Malachi,
he's from Baltimore, so.
But see, my little boy going through something like that. I just don't see myself. By the time he's old enough to start doing things, I see myself, living in a 3-bedroom house in California. Not saying that it won't happen, but I just don't want to even put him through the upbringing of the streets of Chicago and being on the south side of the hood and things like that. So I don't feel like don't have to put a lot of attention towards preparing him for things like that, because I'm not bringing him up in that environment. You know what I'm saying? I'm totally raising. He's gonna be raised differently than the way I was.
Right.
So I don't have to tap into a certain situation. Now, if I was like working at Foot Locker in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? I'm raising him in this same environment. Then I gotta teach him, man, because now we living in the same block, we in the same neighborhood as I grew up. You're gonna encounter these things that I probably did growing up. But I don't see that with him. But I am worried about like little things
visiting your mom. Even when I visit South Carolina, I feel like with them, and especially like Tristan, to get around, they're like, Mom, so-and-so, there's a bug right there. Mom. And I'm like, why are you whispering to me? Shh, hush. Just be quiet, okay? We don't need to talk about nobody bugs. We don't need to talk about...
Was it a roach?
That's a roach.
We don't need to talk about none of that. We need to talk about... We just need you to just be quiet.
That ain't a bug. That's a roach.
And just listening to them talk with their cousins, and they'll be like, okay, and they'll say something, and they'll be doing, like, playing their game. They don't even really pay them kids no attention, but it's a badass kid. So, like, one of them be like, give me that, and just run off with it. And it's like, okay, Crystal, can you get your badass child and give me this game with a
I think it's like, I don't have kids where, but I think it's important for, like, especially fathers to be in a kid's life or whatever, and especially more importantly, probably we're all kids, but it's just a little bit different with like mixed kids. You know what I mean? Like your situation. Like, I got a friend who's like, his whole family's black or whatever. He's black, but maybe a gene skipped a generation or something. But he came out real light. He looked like a white dude. You know what I mean? He looks like a white dude, but he's everybody's family black. He looks
my son gonna
like he got like green. He got like green eyes. He has black features, but he has green eyes like a white person, right? So like, you know, white people think all black people polite. They come up to him and they say like the things of the white dude. But he grew up as a single mother.
Was
he
black?
She was black. She was black. She was black. She was black. And yeah, he was just like just situations. He would come home and talk about how people would say stuff to him that were racist toward black people. You know what I mean? Because they thought he was a white dude, but he was black. He was just like just white. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They would come up like he looked, or even later on, we was in high school together. He'd be at a party, and people would come up and say stuff to him, and he would just thinking he's like a fellow white person, but he's a black dude. You know what I mean? And he would be like, my family's black. You know what I mean? Like I'm black.
That's scary because you girls, I know you've been in some conversations with, you know, around some people that's probably had a lot of racist remarks that they won't say in front of African Americans. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we don't. Maybe y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, but us as African American black men, we don't have racist conversations. We don't sit around and talk about like, oh, this fucking, you know, this white boy over here. So we might crack a joke on some like.
We defending ourselves when we talk about that shit. We ain't lashing out on. We gonna go kill some whatever you want. Well, I mean, half of us, we only learn the words because we gotta find something for how many y'all got for us. Right?
It's defensive most of the time.
We play defense, man.
We just sometimes just defensive.
We ain't rallying up in 5 cars looking for nobody to run down while they jogging down the street. You ain't gonna never see no shit like that from us.
I don't, you know, because we're not racist, obviously, but I'm not gonna go to Ron or go to you and be like, hey man, I saw you yesterday. Why you hanging out with them white boys all the time? Or you get what I'm saying? Or some things that like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, or you listening to this type of music, or you think you white now. So you get what I'm saying? Like, I just don't foresee us having those conversations.
And then,
what can we do, right? Like white America, black America, like where can we see like we're all one? You know what I'm saying? Like.
That's one of the few things I'm pessimistic about.
It's not gonna happen.
It's one of the few things that, like, I just know I'm gonna fight, but I'm fighting a losing battle, and it's crazy to say something when I'm not admitting to defeat, but you know what you up against, and you know your staying power, you know your fighting power, and it's just like I'm just gonna make sure I work hard for my little one, put him in a better position that I want, so maybe his generation or next, they'll actually be on a level playing field. You see what I'm saying?
So that gets passed down. That's inherited. You know what I mean? Like people just all that racism that's inherited. You know what I mean? Like adults need to start teaching their kids a little different.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
In their environment where they're raised and growing up from that.
You just got.
No, you good. I ain't gonna cut you off.
Oh no, you just gotta break out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's inherited or whatever. And I think even though and you have some white people who have racist families who and still they just so loyal to their family, they still they're loyal to their family, loyal to their racist family, but they like enjoy black culture or whatever, and they want to hang around black people and date black people and fuck black dudes.
Yeah.
And they still
I'm gonna drink it out.
I went to a predominantly white college. You know what I mean? For 4 years. And met mad white girls who liked me, but they wouldn't fuck with me because they, you know,
time to take you home when it's time to be seen with
like,
you.
They straight up tell me like, yeah, I would, but my brother wouldn't like that shit. I was like,
that's tough. Where you go to college at?
East Carolina.
And East Carolina. So
Greenville.
it's the South. So it's the South.
Yeah.
Your brother gotta know. But
hey, wow.
You ain't gotta tell you, bro.
Yeah, while we here, so my younger brother had moved with me out in Connecticut. He was getting in a lot of trouble. I was like, you know, you in your 11th, 12th grade, yeah, I gotta make sure I do my part to make sure you ain't a statistic. That was my due diligence to him. I'm on shore duty. Why not? I got the time. He came up there, 11th grade. He had a white girlfriend, a couple months. I lie to you not. You can call him without me on the phone. He'll explain the story to you. Lie to you not. I dropped him off to the movies, meeting the girl there. Ironically, she didn't, because the tension, the racial tension in her, she was afraid to tell him that her grandparents were chaperoning and everything. And her grandparents were so like disrespectful to him I'm talking about this the whole course of the movie, you know, in the movies, buying snacks, all that. I don't even know where he sat and where the girl and her grandparents sat, but when I came to pick them up, I was hurt, bro. And it was one of them cases where I reflect back to my son. Did I prepare you enough? You know what I'm saying? Did I really caution you as to you're not dealing with a black woman? You gotta, and we in Connecticut, like this ain't the most, everywhere you go gonna have something, but this definitely one of those spots where you gotta really tap into, like, where you at. And it hurt me because he was like, yeah, man, she just told me her grandparents ain't approve of me, it ain't gonna happen. And I was like, and he told my mom, and my mama, she real, like, I come from a Muslim Jamaican family. A few Christians, not everybody from Jamaica, but it's like, it's a whole lot of mixed bag, and it's a whole lot of racial tension that comes from bringing an outsider, if you would call it, into my family. It's not, they not offended, it's more of how they been treated. And it's trauma, years of trauma. So when he told her, she was so hurt, and I was like, now I gotta deal with her crying to me about not being on him as to preparing him, and I feel like I failed him, I feel like I failed her, and it's just a cycle. It's like, damn, bro, but you'll never be ready for a lot of this shit.
I was with a white woman and had a child with her. Imagine what it was like for me walking around San Diego holding hands, or we got a mixed baby, and you know I walk into a crowd of people and bro, you talking about being
staring at you,
man.
And you get it from both sides, bro.
I'm getting stared at both sides.
I know you get it from both sides.
You know, African Americans, like, man, what's going on? And then they see my son, and then they see her. It's like it ties into the whole generational thing. It's not normal. It don't look normal. You get what I'm saying? It's not normal. And even today in 2020, it still don't look normal to people. You get what I'm saying?
It's trauma.
Like, why is this man, why did he go do that? Why did he wife up this woman or have a baby by this white woman? You know what I'm saying? And some people feel like I could have blessed another African American woman. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
In that situation. But yeah, I started treating her a different way because of that, man. And real short, I'll make this real short. I used to watch videos like I do now
on how
see
to
all this racist shit going on, and then I can't go in there and have a genuine dialogue with her about what I'm experiencing and seeing because
I got
she's
something
a
for
white
you
woman.
after Gerst.
So I used to go in there, and I swear to God, man, I used to go in the living room. I watch some shit, and I be out getting around. I'm in there watching Louis Farrakhan, you get what I'm saying? He'll mess you up, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm in there stuck, and I'm like, damn, that's right.
You from turn to a rebel for real?
You know, and I'm sitting there like, damn, Black Power, you know, and I'm sitting there, and I watch this shit for 2-3 hours, and I go in there, and I say, you know, and I ain't gonna say a name, but I tell my son, Mom, I'll be like, you know, man, y'all fucked up.
You know what
I'm saying? And she be like, what you talking about? I'm like, man,
you know what you doing to me?
You know, y'all was fucked up, man. And she used to get hurt by it. I used to be like, oh, buddy, I don't know why you be watching that stuff. You know what I mean? But I ain't mean nothing to her. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm getting brainwashed and brain whipped watching this shit, and I get riled up.
That shit hit certain nerves, man. That's
man. But just to piggyback on it, I don't think it's never gonna be together. You gotta think about it. Think about all the years that have went by, all the incidents that's going on, and that there is no unity. There are really arrogant and stubborn African Americans that won't let it go. They won't even let slavery go. You can find people right now that tell you, you know, they can't tell you, you know, 5. You know, true facts about slavery, but to swear up and down that they know everything about it,
Yep.
Right.
and then to treat people as us. Oh man, you know.
And they weren't even slaves, so like, why you didn't go through that? So why do you have to talk about it? You know what I'm saying? So
it like I understand you wholeheartedly, and I ain't mean to cut nobody off, but it ain't about moving on. Like, you can tell anybody to forget about something. You can tell anybody to forgive somebody, but forgetting it is a different thing. Now, when you not forgetting something, turn into that aggression or that hatred or that fire that you got towards somebody, that's just hypocritical. It don't balance out like the new slate that everybody want, and in turn it and I can admit it's like as much as we feel held back, we got some shit to work on. We know how that shit go.
We definitely.
But it don't never cross that line as to what's happening to it. Regardless of what we got to work on, it don't stop the fact of what somebody else is putting down on us. Just cause I argue with you, beat you up, we have altercations. Same as the other side. White people had the same altercations, shoot each other. You know, when we do it though, it's black on black crime. When they do it, it's just a murder. Like, you won't even hear the victim and the suspect information. But before I move off topic, contrary to what you were saying with about being in a mixed relationship, I told Gersey, this was recently, we was on watch. I told him I'm scared of him. I'm pro black. I love black women. That's like my preference. But aside from that, I won't date no white woman. I told bro, ask Gersey, and it's a conversation we can have right here again, bro. We used to go to the parties. We knew when we was leaving our hood, so we'll take all the same guns, all that shit, but we'll leave them in the car. We know we ain't in that type of situation. We go in here, but I still be back against the wall. I'm like, this shit. Like you look these females in their eye, I might like you, but I'm gonna tell my daddy anyway when he pressed me out about who I've been with, or if he figure out, or if he see your picture in my phone, and I just be like, yeah, I'm leaving, bro. We ain't got time for this. And it's just that simple. I think it's one of them things where me, it was a precaution. Like I know I never want to be in a situation where a white woman said I raped her and I didn't, because that's the worst label you can have. Right. A rapist, molester, all that. But when you falsely accused of it and can't defend yourself and people automatically writing you off, that's one of them things where it's built to lose. You built to lose. Like I applaud any man that got the courage to do that type of stuff. And actually can maneuver in them situations.
Don't with courage. I was influenced, my brother. Listen to me, my nigga. I was influenced by a motherfucker from Oklahoma. I ain't gonna say his name, but I met him in San Diego. Mind you, I grew up around predominantly black. My high school was 98.9% black. You hear me? I think we had an Asian kid walking around the street. But true story. So I get to California, I'm like, I ain't thinking about white women. I see them, they all look the same. I swear to God, that was my whole thing growing up. I said, oh, she look like the same girl. You know what I'm saying? I thought they all look alike. I started hanging out with this boy, man. He was cool. But when I tell you, he wouldn't touch it. He was black. He was mixed, but he was more black than he was anything. He said he wouldn't touch a black woman with a 10-foot pole. You hear me? He wouldn't do it. And I'm hanging out with him. Right. When I tell you, he's like, look at that white woman right there. Dirt. Right. He told me she thick, and I'm like, thick? That ain't like what? That ain't thick. And I'm hanging out with him, and the next thing I know, I'm like, damn, man, maybe she look kind of cute. You know what I'm saying? So, and before I knew it, hanging out with her, I swear to God, this is a true story.
You were there, potato salad with raisins.
Here I am now, pointing out the Beckys and the Ambers and all of them, and I'm like, yes, man, bro. So I was influenced into that side of the life.
Hey, you still picked it up, and I applaud you for that much. I tell them.
I got a son.
I probably look at the ground before I look some of them in their eyes, man. You got anything on that, Gersh? Because I had a question for her.
So I don't have no interest in the Beckys or the Lindsays, I'm more of the Hispanic side, and the light skin, yellow bone, red bone, whatever you want to call them. But that's my interest right there. I don't really like white women because they don't feel my taste. The way I dress, they don't feel me. So that's why I go towards the Hispanics mostly.
Yeah. So a few comments. I prefer black women, but I'm attracted to all types of women. It don't matter what race it is. All types. But I'm attracted to all different shapes, sizes, colors, whatever. And I've dated white girls in the past, but sometimes I'll be thinking, I'm like, man, I don't know if I can marry a white girl just because, like you say, you're watching Louis Farrakhan videos. Sometimes they just don't. It's a disconnect. Like you could really like a white girl or someone different race, and it's like you just
She'll never relate to
Yeah.
you.
she won't relate. She won't relate.
Certain
Like
levels,
she won't relate. Like I could be watching like some video about some black shit, and she just wouldn't. They'd be totally clueless.
Ain't nothing clicking. Yeah, I understand.
Like they're allowed to be cavalier about it. Like allowed to be. It don't bother them. They don't think about it because it don't affect them. They just, oh, what are you watching that for? That's just not a big deal. They just don't affect them. As far as like people like slavery or whatever, people and like I think the issue with that is like black people like they're not gonna forget about slavery. It wasn't that long ago. 400 years wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't that long ago. You know what I mean? Black people just was able to vote. It wasn't that long ago, like back in the 60s or whatever. Like my grandma was alive during that time. You know what I mean? So white people's grandma was alive during that time, doing whatever they want, going to the beach. You know what I'm saying? Voting, do whatever, and like ours couldn't. I think the issue comes in when people, like white people, like try to make you forget about it.
Influence you
they
to,
try to, like Obama was president, y'all good now. You know what I mean? That's how they do it. They like, oh, y'all black was president, y'all done.
Get over it now.
Yeah, get over it.
Gave y'all something back.
Y'all in here now, y'all. Welcome to the table.
All right, let black people be president. Can y'all shut up now? Like nah, like that, like slavery wasn't that long ago. 40 years ain't long. It seems long. I bet it's long. It wasn't that long ago. That was only a few generations. Like.
And I wouldn't even say slavery. I would say the civil rights movement. That, when you think about that, Martin Luther King Jr. would be like 90 something maybe, because he would be the same age as Barbara Walters or whatever her name is. They would be the same age. This bitch is old, and she's alive.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr. got shot in the fucking head. That's the thing that just. I'm sorry.
No,
Nah, you're right.
That's
what
you think.
Everybody goes, yeah.
And then the issue is like they want people, like black people, forget about it. It's like black people don't like the fact that y'all don't like. Well, not y'all, but white people don't acknowledge the fact that they benefited from it. You know what I mean?
And still do.
They benefit, like just we know no white people alive now was slave owners. We get that, but just you know what I'm saying. We're not trying to make you feel guilty. It's just that just acknowledge that you benefited from it.
Yeah, and just cause something, just
Your
cause
family benefits from
You
it.
hit it on the head, he'll be 90 years old.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And I heard D.L. Hughley was like one time. He was like, if you broke and white now, he was like somebody wasted their whiteness. Like somebody along the line wasted their whiteness, pretty much. Like you know what I mean? Just take.
and then just cause something evolved, don't mean it went away. Like just cause you can't see it clear in sight was what goes on because they ain't beating us upside the head. Don't mean it ain't a mental beating or it's not no, systematic oppression.
Oh yeah.